Tom Brady signed with the Bucs, Shannon bet Skip that Bill Belichick and the Patriots would win more games than Brady in Tampa this season. But since then, Rob Gronkowski came out of retirement, was traded to the Bucs, who also made several draft picks to support Brady. So Shannon, after the draft, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in your prediction?
I'm not as confident as I originally was. Skip, it doesn't look good. It does not look good. I mean, getting Gronk to come out of retirement, getting Christian Wirth, the big tackle out of Iowa, they solidified. They got Brady another weapon, and they got a protector that he needs to make sure Brady feels protected. I like the Anton Winfield Jr. Pick in the second round at the safety position. Coach Belichick really didn't do a whole lot in the draft. They didn't do anything in free agency, Skip. But it appears to me that Coach Belichick says, we're going to win games this year in 2020, just like we won last year. Skip, there were not very many games that we can look back on in 2019 and say, you know what? They won that game because Tom Brady's the quarterback. They played outstanding defense. Brady minimized his turnovers, and that's what happened. And so it looks to me, Coach Belichick says, look, I want to have a top 1, top 2 defense again. Instead, don't turn the ball over, and we're going to win ball games like that. And he says if we won 12 games with Brady having a ho-hum season, and, you know, by his standards, it was not Brady-esque, we should be able to win 10 games with Stead if he doesn't put us in harm's way. So I think they'll coach him hard. Obviously, he's had a year to be in that system, Skip, but they've done nothing really to say, like, wow. I'm not sure with the expectation that's on Buffalo. The Jets, they got some. They did okay in the draft. I'm not turning cartwheels for them. The Dolphins have a little more expectations. We'll see how Fitzpatrick and if they transition to Tua this year, how that turns out. But I believe the Patriots will be right in the thick of the AFC East. Whether or not they'll have a better record, Skip, I'm not nearly as confident as I was going into the draft as I am heading out of the draft.
Wait, did I just hear Shannon Sharpe concede this bet to me?
I ain't concede that yet. Not yet. There's still a chance. There's Andy Dalton is still available, and Cam is still available.
Okay. So your confidence level, scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, is what now? A 2?
Nah, I'm more like 4-ish, 5-ish.
4-ish or 5-ish,
where I was like,
says Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah, whereas before I was like 7-ish, 8-ish.
Aha. So my confidence level, scale of 1 to 10, on each of the records that I predicted, I said 12-4 for Tampa. I'm now a 10 on that scale of confidence. I also predicted 8-8 for Belichick without Brady. And right now, my confidence in my 8-8 pick is a 2 because I don't see how they're going to go 8-8. It's looking 6-10-ish, maybe 7-9-ish at best. I'm sorry, I don't see it. Unless he's got that one last ace up his sleeve, as you suggest, Cam, Andy Dalton, and I don't see how he can add them because all the reports out of New England are they don't have any cap space. Cam would have to play for virtually nothing to play next year for New England, and maybe he would be desperate enough to do that. But Andy Dalton is still scheduled to make whatever it is, $20-odd million.
$17 million.
They can't do that. They don't. What's that?
I think it's like $17.7 million, but he got a big cap hit. So, Skip, they might have to get, I mean, if he's willing to restructure it, maybe do a 2-year deal and spread some of that money out.
And remember, you're still going to have to trade for him, so you're going to have to give up some asset. I don't know what asset he has on his roster that Cincinnati would really want right now. Maybe next year's, second-round pick, third-round pick.
No. We'll give you a fourth. We'll give you a fourth or a fifth.
Oh, okay. Got it. So the point is that he has had a mass exodus in free agency, and I could go on all day, but remember, James Devlin, their Pro Bowl fullback, just retired, and then they lost Kyle Van Noy, Jamie Collins, Danny Shelton, Philip Dorsett, Ted Karras, who was their starting center last year, Elandon Roberts, They traded Duron Harmon. They cut Gostkowski. I'm like, Bill, what are you doing? He added, obviously, Brian Hoyer came back for his third trip to New England. And Adrian Phillips is a good special teams player. And Demir Bird's not bad as sort of a backup receiver. And the immortal Bo Allen, a defensive tackle. That's all you did in free agency. And I'm saying, Bill, wake up, do something. So I told you yesterday, I thought Bill would manipulate and finally just dominate the draft as he has the capability of doing. And I kept waiting and nothing happened. They did not take a quarterback. Really, they had shots. Yeah, but they had shots at Jordan Love, obviously. They had shots at Jalen Hurts. Nope. Go ahead.
Skip, when you really look at it, Coach Belichick has hit a couple of times, but none of his first rounders, maybe McCourty, but if you look at it, his first rounders haven't been very good. I mean, for every one that he hits, he'll miss 4 or 5. For every Richard Seymour, he just wastes that. So his thing is getting other guys from other teams and turning them into something. That's what his cup of tea is, Skip. But when you look at it, there's pressure that's going to be on Tampa Bay. Pressure that they have not felt in a very, very long time. Now, we know Tom Brady has dealt with pressure for 20-plus years. We know Gronk has dealt with pressure. But can you say anybody else in that Tampa organization, from player standpoint, has been able to deal with pressure, knows what it's like to be expected to win, knows what it's like to be expected to win the division, what it's like to get to the Super Bowl, to win? Because that's what the expectations are, Skip Bayless. You know when you are these type of guys, a Brady, a Manning, these elite guys, it's kind of like basketball, Skip. The expectation for LeBron is championship, getting to the finals. The expectation for these Kevin Durant and Jordan and Magic and Michael were finals. It's not about good regular season. It's not about stats. It's about getting to that ultimate destination. Nobody else other than the 2 guys that they got in the offseason knows what that's like. Bruce Arians knows what it's like to be a coordinator. Skip, we've seen a lot of coordinators win Super Bowl as coordinators and not have that success as a head coach because now you have the total package. You're not just worried about one group. You're worried about the whole entire ship. And so we're going to see if BA can handle that type of pressure and that type of expectation. Because, Skip, yes, he is a player's coach, but he will speak his mind, and he has somewhat of a temper.
Did you see what Sean Payton said yesterday about watching The Last Dance and Michael Jordan, whom he knows very well? And he said, Michael brought up everyone around him, and his quote was, I think that will happen with Tom in Tampa, that he will bring up everyone around him. That's why they're riding this wave of momentum and emotion in Tampa, because they got 2 GOATs. They got Brady and Gronk. They had a terrific first 3 picks of their draft, which will help. And now you're adding all that to 2 Pro Bowl receivers and an offense that allowed Jameis Winston to throw for more than 5,000 yards and lead the league in passing yards. Obviously, he also led in turnovers by 12. That will get canceled out by Tom Brady. So I don't know what's not to like about Tom Brady being the new leader, the new tone setter for that team. It won't matter what Bruce Arians does as long as Tom takes over and starts to recreate the New England culture in Tampa. And now let me finish back to my Belichick point. It appears to me right now that Belichick is trying to send a message to the NFL. And that message is a dangerous one, but he's basically saying, I don't need Tom Brady. I don't need Rob Gronkowski. I don't need anybody you've ever heard of out there because I'm Bill Belichick. So if Mel Kiper wants to give me a C+ on my draft, that's okay with me. I don't care what you think of my draft because it doesn't matter. I'll take whatever cogs I have, and because I'm the GOAT coach, I'll show you I can win with people you've never heard of. Okay, good luck, Bill. You are on, because he's saying he can win with the quarterback he calls Stid, as in Jared Stidham, a a fourth-round draft choice who I watched a lot at Baylor and a lot at Auburn, and he's athletic and he's got a nice arm, but he also tends to lose his poise under fire. He's going to have to step into the winged cleats of the GOAT, Tom Brady. And I don't wish that upon anybody, especially a fourth-round draft choice with no experience. Maybe Brian Hoyer will start for a while next year. I don't know. But my gut is it will be Stid or bust, and my gut is it will be bust, because I think Belichick is going to get exposed without Tom Brady.
Skip, you know who a lot of the pressure's on? Is Josh McDaniels. Because every year, Skip, he's a hot coaching commodity. Oh, this offense. Oh, this offense. For the first time, people are going to go see what Josh McDaniels, because we remember what Josh McDaniels was like without Tom Brady. He tried to be a head coach in Denver. It was an epic fail. He went to the Rams, Skip. Remember, he went to the Rams as an offensive coordinator, and it was horrible there. So now the pressure's on him. We're about to find out, Skip, how good of an offensive mind he is and how many more coaching opportunities he's going to have to be a head coach. Because we've seen guys, Skip, these great players, give coaches, be it an offensive line coach, a receivers coach, or an OC, opportunity to be head coach. We saw it with Brett Favre, Steve Mariucci, John Gruden, Big Red Andy Reid. So many guys got head coaching jobs that touched him. You look at Ray Lewis. Jack Del Rio became a head coach. Rex Ryan became a head coach. Mike Smith, Marvin Lewis. All those guys, Skip, became head. Mike Nolan. All those guys. And we've seen that happen. Great players get a coordinator's opportunity to become a head coach.